When we think about light, we think about the sun. The sun is the brightest star in the galaxy, and the sun is central to life on Earth. Here are a few facts that I've learned about the sun. The sun is 93 million miles from the Earth. In fact, if a baby would start flying to the sun at its birth and travel 150 miles per hour, this baby would be nearly 71 years old upon its arrival. Also, astronomers estimate that the diameter of the sun is 109 times that of the Earth. Its output of energy is 70,000 horsepower per square yard per minute. And lastly, the temperature at the sun's surface is about 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That is hot. The sun has such a great impact on our planet and such a great impact on our lives. Yet, even though we consider the sun to be the light for our world, Jesus said that he is the light of the world. The light of the world in John 8:12. And to understand what it means that Jesus is the true light of the world, we need to dig a little deeper into this metaphor. Certainly, Jesus didn't mean that he glows, physically glows like he's some special superhero. So what does he mean when he says he's the light of the world? Well, let's think about what light does. One thing light does is dispel darkness. You walk into a dark room, all you have to do, if your power's on, is hit the switch, and there goes the darkness. The light overtakes the darkness. And that's what Jesus came to do in this world. Jesus is the light that shines and gets rid of the darkness. He can do that in the lives of each one of us as well. And there's a couple ways that this works. One thing is that light reveals truth. Light reveals truth. If you can think back to a time where you were in a dark room and maybe the power was out, it's kind of scary navigating your way through there. You wonder, is there something in my way there? Am I going to bump into something over here? You're not sure what the truth is about that room because you can't see it. But if the power comes on and you can flip that switch, the light reveals the truth. John 1:4 describes Jesus this way. In him was life, and that life was the light of men. Jesus is that light that shines and reveals the truth in our lives. Maybe the flip side to that, though, is that if we've got something to hide, if we've got something that we don't want to be seen, if we've got darkness that we don't want to have dispelled in our lives, then that light can be repulsive. When I was a kid, we had a little wooded area behind the back fence of our house. And I would go through that gate and I could walk into the woods there. And sometimes I would find a log that had been maybe lying there for a long time. And you know what happens when you flip over that log on the ground that's been sitting in that moist soil? There's all kinds of bugs everywhere. But what happens when the light hits those bugs? They don't stay put. They don't say, oh, let's sunbathe in the sun. Instead, those little bugs take off. They scurry for cover. They're afraid of the light. The light is repulsive to those little bugs. And in the same way, light can be that way for us if we've got something to hide, if we don't want the truth to be revealed. So the question for us is, what about us? Do we run to the light? Or do we run away from the light? Is there any secret sin, any little habit that you've been trying to hold on to that maybe you don't want anyone to know about, or that you don't want the truth to show up in your life? The light reveals the truth, and the light can be repulsive if we don't want it to show us what's really there. But the light also causes growth. When you think about a plant needs light to grow. It causes photosynthesis to work inside that plant. And in the same way, the light causes us to grow. And as we learn to follow the light of Jesus, as we learn to follow his light, Scripture says that the Word is a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. And as we learn to follow that, it causes us to grow. It causes us to mature. It causes us to become the people that God has designed us, that he's intended us to be. Light causes growth. And finally, I think light gives us assurance as well. One of the things I think of when I think about the sun is a vacation spot at the beach. I love to go to the beach and enjoy the sunshine. even though I spend a lot of time under the umbrella. But I love it to be sunny when I'm at the beach and a light breeze flowing, and it's so peaceful to me, so restful for me. And in the same way, the light of Christ, when that comes into our lives, that brings the peace of God into our lives. It brings the peace of Christ to us. Jesus calls it the peace that passes all understanding. And when the storms of life blow in and maybe the power goes out in your house, you can still experience the peace and the presence of Christ because the light is in you. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. So my question is, are you going to run to the light or run away from the light? We all need to make sure that we follow the light.